Can you imagine a beautiful plant with several types of poison? Well, here we have top 10 most poisonous plants, starting from number 10, Manchineel. Would you believe that there is a tree so poisonous that you don't actually have to touch it to be harmed? It's called the Manchineel tree, found throughout the Florida Everglades, Central America, and the Caribbean. Inhaling sawdust or smoke from the 30-foot tall tree may result in a variety of uncomfortable side effects, including coughing, laryngitis, and bronchitis. Some reports suggest that simply standing beneath the tree during a rainstorm and being splashed by runoff may result in rashes and itching. Your car isn't even safe from this toxic tree. Park under its low branches and dripping sap can seriously damage the paint. Direct contact with the manchineel tree is far more hazardous. Its milky sap can squirt from the tree when twigs are snapped off, painfully irritating the skin and eyes. Ingestion of the deceptively sweet crabapple-like fruit is known to blister the mouth and cause the throat to swell shut, then inflict severe gastrointestinal problems. These harmful effects result from the toxin hippomane A and B, which are present in every part of the tree. The manchineel tree sometimes grows near the beach, giving it another of its common names, beach apple. Hapless tourists vacationing on the warm coasts of Central America and the Caribbean often encounter its poisonous boughs with unfortunate consequences. So if you're heading to that region's beach resorts, make sure to avoid the manchineel tree, or else your dream vacation could turn into a real nightmare. With pointy leaves and spiky fruit, Jamson Weed definitely looks the part of a poisonous plant. Its toothed foliage emits an unpleasant odor and branches from reddish purple stalks which grows to a height of 3 to 4 feet. The plant's fruit is particularly wicked looking. The green spheres measuring about 2 inches across are covered with long, sharp spines. Even the nectar and petals of its beautiful white or lavender trumpet-shaped flowers are dangerous. They, like the rest of the plant, are tainted with the toxin atropine and scopolamine. European settlers in the New World quickly discovered the potency of Jamson weed, which grows throughout Canada, the United States, and the Caribbean. The plant was plentiful at Jamestown, where some colonists made the mistake of having it for dinner as early as 1607. They would have experienced horrific symptoms, including dilated pupils, racing heartbeat, hallucination, delirium, aggressive behavior, and possibly coma or seizures. That plant has been linked to darker arts, like witchcraft and voodoo, because of its delirium-inducing and hallucinogenic properties. For most people, though, Jamson weed is a dangerously poisonous plant that's best avoided completely. Aconite is commonly referred to as monkshood because the top of the flower resembles the monastic head covering. But there is nothing holy about this plant because every part of the aconite plant is laced with the toxin aconitine, making it dangerous to consume or even touch. Poisoning from aconite are rare, but typically occur when gardeners or backpackers mistake its white carrot-like root for horseradish or some other edible herb. Consuming the plant causes burning in the mouth followed by increased salivation, vomiting, diarrhea, a tingling sensation in the skin, blood pressure, heart irregularities, coma, and sometimes death. Just touching aconite can cause tingling numbness and, in severe cases, heart problems. It's interesting to know that Nazi scientists used the plant's toxin to poison bullets, while shepherds in ancient Greece laced bows and arrows with aconite to kill wolves that preyed on their stock. Most people know that John Wilkes Booth assassinated Abraham Lincoln, but did you know that a plant killed the president's mother? White snakeroot causes milk sickness, a condition that afflicts people who consume milk or meat from a cow that has grazed on the highly poisonous plant. Snakeroot is also poisonous to the cow. Those affected can experience a variety of symptoms, including bad breath, loss of appetite, listlessness, weakness, weight pains, muscle stiffness, vomiting, abdominal discomfort, severe constipation, coma, and possibly death. Milk sickness was common until the 1920s, when farmers widely recognized white snakeroot as the cause, eradicating the weed from their pastures and fencing them to prevent cows from wandering into the woods to graze. Unfortunately, this discovery came much too late for Lincoln's mother, Nancy, who fought milk sickness for 2 weeks before passing away on October 5, 1818. Given the English yu's highly toxic nature, it's fitting that the tree is commonly found growing in church graveyards across Great Britain. Some scholars believe that this tradition started when early Christians incorporated the trees, which already had spiritual value to the pagans, into their new religion. Today, they stand not as symbol of death, but of the immortality of the soul. The English yew is an evergreen tree with needle-like leaves and red arils, or fleshy seed coverings. It grows to a height of 60 to 70 feet and is found throughout Great Britain, but is also cultivated in the southern United States. Every part of the tree is toxic due to toxin alkaloids except for the aril flesh. Consumption of the leaves and to a lesser extent the seeds can lead to increasingly serious symptoms, including dizziness, dry mouth, dilation of the pupils, weakness, irregular heart rhythm, and possibly death. The castor bean plant is widely cultivated for its castor oil and is also used as an ornamental plant. Castor oil is a mild-tasting vegetable oil that is used in many food additives, flavorings, and in candy production. Neither of these uses would clue you into the fact that this plant has deadly contents ricin. Seed poisonings are rare and usually involve children and pets, but they can be deadly. As few as 3 seeds, which are green with brown markings, could kill a child who swallows them. Symptoms of castor bean poisoning include nausea, abdominal cramps, vomiting, internal bleeding, and kidney and circulation failure. Deadly nightshade. The name says it all, since it contains poisonous atropine and scopolamine in its stems, leaves, berries, and roots. Deadly nightshade berries are green when they are formed and turn to a shiny black as they ripen. They are sweet and juicy, which makes them tempting to children. Not all animals are affected by deadly nightshade, while it's deadly to humans and some animals. Horses, rabbits, and sheep can eat the leaves without harm, and birds feed on the berries. The poisons contained in deadly nightshade affect the nervous system. Taken in sufficient doses, the deadly poison paralyzes nerve endings in the involuntary muscles of the body, such as the blood vessels, heart, and gastrointestinal muscles. Symptoms of deadly nightshade poisoning include dilated pupils, sensitivity to light, blurred vision, headaches, confusion, and convulsions. The rosary pea has very pretty seeds. 2/3 of the seed is red and the top third is black. These decorative seeds are often used to make jewelry, and that jewelry is imported to other countries. In fact, these seeds are especially popular for rosary prayer beads. But rosary pea seeds contain the poison abrin. The seeds are only dangerous when the coating is broken. Swallowed whole, the rosary pea doesn't present any danger. But if the seed is scratched or damaged, it's deadly. The rosary pea poses greater danger to the jewelry maker than to the wearer. There are many reported cases of death when jewelry makers prick a finger while handling the rosary pea. Rosary pea seeds cause severe nausea and vomiting, which eventually leads to dehydration and ends with the kidneys, liver, and spleen shutting down. Death usually follows within 3 to 4 days. The water hemlock is a very attractive wildflower with an upright growth pattern, purple striped leaves, and small white blooms. But the water hemlock's white roots are sometimes mistaken for a parsnip plant, a potentially fatal error. The poison contained in the water hemlock, cycotoxin, is present in the entire plant, but is most concentrated in the roots. Anyone who confuses the plant with parsnips and decides to take a bite faces a violent death. The water hemlock, which is native to North America, is considered by many to be the most deadly plant on the continent. For those unlucky enough to taste the water hemlock, the onset of illness is rapid. The psychotoxin contained in the plant causes violent and painful convulsions, nausea, vomiting, cramps, and muscle tremors. Those who survive the poisoning experience long-term health conditions such as amnesia. So, no amount of water hemlock root is considered safe to ingest. The oleander is considered by many to be the most poisonous plant in the world. All parts of the beautiful oleander contain poison, several types of poison. And oleander's poison is so strong, in fact, that it can poison a person who simply eats the honey made by bees that have digested oleander nectar. The oleander is an attractive plant, and despite its deadly reputation, is often planted for decorative purposes. Animals instinctively avoid the plant, and it grows rapidly, so it's often used for highway barriers and other areas that require screening from noise and pollution. Unlike some toxic plants, the oleander is poisonous to most animals as well as humans. A single ingested oleander leaf can kill a child. Ingestion of oleander results in diarrhea, vomiting, intense stomach pain, drowsiness, dizziness, and irregular heartbeat, and often death. If the victim survives the initial 24 hours after ingestion, his or her odds of surviving increase dramatically. For successful treatment, the patient is induced to vomit. His or her stomach may be pumped, or he or she may be fed activated charcoal to absorb as much of the poison as possible.